welcome to my very strange, super duper, ridiculously long, action packed, just absolutely rock solid, chock full of wrestling live stream, basically. Hi, Finn, mate. You all right? Yes, folks. Welcome along to the live stream. Sorry, I'm just trying to post this on Reddit at the minute, as per usual. Hopefully it works. I'm just checking to see if I'm on as well. Looks quite good. Is it doing anything? Oh yes, I can hear myself talking. Cool. Right, I'll switch that off now. Right, yes. Hi everyone. Welcome to my wrestling wrap up, basically. Just to let you guys know, as per usual, this is going to be on YouTube video, and it will also be on YouTube podcast, probably some point in the excuse me, late tomorrow afternoon, something along them lines. The reason that I've titled it, because as most of you guys know, it's usually at this sort of time, Monday Night Raw. The reason I've titled it The Late Wrestling Wrap Up is because basically it's a very, very mismatch late wrestling wrap up. I have contrived to miss AEW Dynamite, Smackdown, TNA Rebellion, what else have I missed? AEW Collision, and also AEW Dynasty. I'm currently still watching AEW Dynasty, by the way. I've just got to the bit where it's John Moxley versus Will Ospreay, so I might have that on the background. So I think there's Ospreay, John Moxley, and then MJF and Omega. There might be another match in there as well. I can't quite remember. I'm super hyped at the moment because the lady on my chest at the minute. There you go. Better look at Tekla. Hi Finn, you alright? How you doing, son? Yes, my girl Tekla, the AEW Women's World Champion, has just retained against Jamie Hayter. I'm absolutely stoked. That's why I was on late, basically, because I've recorded some sort of ridiculous short and just put congratulations to Tekla on my Tekla community. Yes, I have got a Tekla community on Reddit. I have got slightly obsessed now. So yeah, basically this whole show is gonna be recapping what's gone on in the wrestling world the last 4 or 5 days, because it's just been absolutely mental. Honestly, I literally have pages and pages of notes. I started off with like one page, and I've ended up with, let me have a look, page 3, there's a load of Liverpool work in there. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's like 4 pages basically. So you guys get the honour and pleasure of listening to me waffle on about pro wrestling basically for like probably a good couple of hours. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. Let me just have a look. How am I doing? I'm not too bad, Finn. Not too bad. Hope you're all right, mate. I've literally just doing this. I've got another week off work. Not due to go back till the Wednesday, which is very good given my current circumstances, which I have mentioned, which I won't go into further detail, but obviously most of you guys know what I've been doing with the third bedroom and know what my intentions are in the next couple of months. So obviously it's going to be a bit of an interesting time, let me put it that way. Oh, by the way, before I start, on behalf of all Liverpool fans and on behalf of a resident of the city of Leeds, thank you, Leeds United, for tonight. That was bloody hilarious. Lol, as the young people would say. Get in. Man United 1, Leeds United 2. I'm here for it, I believe, as the young people would say. So yeah, I'll get into the wrestling in a minute, folks. Like I said, I'm not gonna go through line by line about every single thing that's happened in TNA and WWE and AEW, but I'm just gonna pick out some bits and pieces basically, and I'll tell you guys about it. If any of you guys want to jump in with any wrestling comments, just give us a shout. If you've watched AEW, if you've watched TNA, if you've watched NXT, if you've watched Smackdown. I literally finished watching Smackdown this afternoon. Basically, that's how busy I've been the last couple of days. So yeah, it should be good. Should be good. Let me have a look. Finn, thank you so much for supporting and watching my video. Oh, no problem, Finn. I'll tell you what, mate. It was really good. I was really, really impressed, Finn. Like I said, dude, the reason why you're significantly ahead of me, not that it's competition, obviously, but in terms of subscribers, I don't even know how you put that together, mate. It looked, I'm not just saying it because you're a friend and stuff, that looked like a super professional, slick video that you would see from a production company. So, shout out. Also, as well, since I'm here, if anyone wants to help a brother out, if you go to Finn Does WWE, this lad is very, very good. I'm not just saying it because he's been a body the last few months, but like, Finn, I hope you don't mind me saying, but Finn basically put together a video last night of, sorry, a couple of nights before, of like entrances from WWE. So all the way from one all the way to what are we on now? It's 42 this week, isn't it? By the way, I'm going to talk about WrestleMania as well because I am super excited, as you might have gathered. This is like my mecca this week in terms of wrestling. But yeah, if you would like to, if you'd like to like and subscribe to Finn Does WWE. Obviously, this is an amazingly talented lad. I've seen some of his shorts on wrestling figures and stuff as well. Very, very good. Very, very good. Well-produced videos and very entertaining as well. So, yeah, shout out, Finn. You keep going, mate. Whereas some of us have basically got a live stream through a phone that's currently being held up by a battered selfie ring, which is actually broken, that doesn't produce any light, behind the background of one of the missus's paintings from Greece. As you do. I keep meaning to put a background on, but yeah, folks, I'm not Flash, basically. What you see is what you get, unfortunately. There we go. Let me have a look. Anyway, Backcourt. Sir, hello, Backcourt. How you doing, mate? You all right? Sir, why is everyone picking CM Punk to win this weekend? Well, that's simple, Backcourt, because he's the best in the world, you see. So, and Roman Reigns is a bum. No, not really. No. Shout out, Robert. No, to be honest, Backcourt, I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm a massive, massive CM Punk fan. So I know there's this whole hashtag thing going on, but I'm not on Twitter anymore for reasons which I won't go into. But I know there's this whole hashtag thing with Team Roman and Team Punk. I am Team Punk. I love CM Punk. I like Roman too. Don't get me wrong, but I would just like CM Punk to have his moment in a main event in WWE, because obviously he did get a main event last year, but it was on night one, so it was against Seth Rollins and Roman as well. But he's never actually won a main event at WrestleMania. I mean, Roman's won the main event. I mean, God knows how many times. I mean, beat Undertaker, he's beat Lesnar, beat Cody. He's beat a couple more people. I think Roman's record isn't, because I think he's headlined about 9. I think this will be the 9th time. I think he's won half of them, maybe 5 out of 9. Like, you guys will know better than me. I can't remember, but yeah. To be honest, dude, I hope everyone. Well, sorry, not everyone. I hope Punk wins. I have a feeling that Roman is going to win, because I think there might be some shenanigans involving Pat McAfee and this whole whatever is going on, where they're in universe, they're trying to make TKO the bad guys that McAfee's now working for, and they're trying to make it out as if it's like an invasion of WWE, whereas TKO actually owns and trades WWE, which is a bit weird. I don't know. It's kind of like this in-universe in-joke at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to go on with that, but I reckon, put it this way, Backcourt, I think I'd be astonished if someone out of Cody, Punk, or Roman doesn't turn heel this weekend. I'd be absolutely astonished, to be honest. I just can't quite work out who it is. I've got a feeling it might be Roman, but we'll have to wait and see. Hey, DT, how you doing, mate? You all right? Like done, bro. Yes, thank you, DT. Yes, also as well, my good friend on here, Depression Talk. Very, very good channel if you'd like to subscribe to him as well. Yeah, this guy's given me a lot of good advice over the last year and has been very, very caring and very, very decent towards me. So I'd fully direct you to his channel. And yeah, another one to subscribe to, folks. So yeah, cheers, DT. Thank you very much, mate. You're always welcome. Let's have a look. Finn, I'm going to post some more WrestleMania community tabs for people to vote on tomorrow. Make sure to check it out if you have time. I will do. Well, actually, Finn, funnily enough, I was going to do something along those lines myself because I think I've worked out how to do it because again, my son, as you know, is the technology and young people expert. His dad doesn't clearly have a clue what he's actually doing half the time. And I showed him earlier. I was like, "Oh, look, son, I've seen this video. It says polls. So if I press that, you can do polls and stuff." And he just looked at me with like absolute disgust. And he was just like, why are you doing this for? Surely I should be doing this instead." But yeah. There we go. So yeah, no, I was thinking of doing one myself, and I was thinking I might do polls for every single match towards the end of the week. I'm going to be doing loads of stuff on WrestleMania this week. So like I said, this is my big exciting week. I'm that obsessed with WrestleMania week that I've looked at all the off-site wrestling that's coming on as well. So obviously by off-site wrestling, I mean not your WrestleMania night 1 and 2, not Smackdown, not the Hall of Fame, but like the independent shows. So I know Stardom are going to be there, the women's professional wrestling organization in Japan. There's quite a few of them actually I've completely forgot. Progress Wrestling is going to be there, and I think it's the same Progress as England. I'm fairly sure it's the same Progress. And Dragon's Gate's going to be there as well. Michael Echo, who wrestles for Progress and for Rev Pro Wrestling in England, he's going to be dipping in and out of different shows during WrestleMania weekend. So I'm going to try. I'm not sure how well a lot of these are going to be filmed, but I'm going to try and see if I can find them online, basically. In fact, funnily enough, would you believe WrestleMania weekend, week, it actually starts, I think, now, give or take, because there's like a wrestling thing that's happening this afternoon in America, so our time. So yeah, basically, you're not going to hear anything from me this weekend other than wrestling. It's got to the point where Liverpool are actually a huge inconvenience this week, to be completely honest. Boy, are they an inconvenience. I will get on to tomorrow and Sunday in a minute. By the way, if I didn't tell you, Man United 1, Leeds United 2, just in case you missed it earlier. Anyway, so yeah, I will be waffling on about all sorts of stuff after I've got through with the comments. Let's have a look. So Kalpana, hello Kalpana, you all right? Thank you so much, man. I genuinely love the kind words. This is the positive words that keep me going. That's fine, Finn. Don't worry. We've all got to look at. We're all like, obviously, Finn, you're like way ahead of me now, so I don't think you're going to need too much longer before you can like go like professional with it. Like obviously I'm hoping to get to that stage, but I'm significantly miles off you at the minute, mate. But I know I'm getting closer to the limit that you need, so hopefully something can happen. But yeah, we all need to support each other, dude, to just like just smaller creators, smaller we all just need to support each other, mate. So shout out to you. Let's have a look. You're always putting yourself down, Matt. Well, yeah, I know that's what a lot of my mates say, Finn, to be honest. It's one of those, I've had to do it ever since I was a little kid, just to get through. So it's just like force of nature now, to be honest, mate. But your videos and live streams are something amazing. I won't read that word, but thank you very much, young man. And you're dedicated to this channel. I love that. Oh, thank you, Finn. Thank you. It's very, very, very nice to hear. No, it's no, it's definitely gone well over the last year. I mean, put it this way, when I had my little mini breakdowny thing, which I won't waffle on about, but this time last year, I think I had 650 subscribers, maybe 700, and I think I've just got shy of 1,600 now. I mean, that's my best stretch, because I mean, I think it took me about, because obviously, you know, I won't tell the story again, but obviously this didn't start off as like a thingy channel, like it started off as like a way to promote the toys that I was selling, basically. But since I turned it into what it should have been in the first place, I mean, the first 3 years, 700 subscribers, which I thought was actually quite good at the time. Turns out not so much. Again, shout out to everyone that supported me through the whole time. That's not a dig or anything like that. I appreciate everyone's support. But over the course of the last year, I mean, you're talking, what, an extra 800 in just under a year, kind of thing, which is pretty decent for someone who's just got a camera. So yeah, we keep going, mate. We keep going. Let's have a look. I need my new glasses. Samiti. Samiti. I'm really sorry, Samiti, if I'm pronouncing that badly. What's going on? What's going on? We are talking about pro wrestling, Samiti. You are more than welcome to join in. But I'm also a massive Liverpool fan, football fan, horror fan, comic cons, manga, films, some video games sometimes. So anything you want to talk about, providing it's not gross, yeah, you're more than welcome to, mate. TKO are something themselves. Mania was about 60,000 a night last year. This year's Mania is looking about 40. Well, Finn, look, it's their own fault at the end of the day. I warned about this when WWE was ridiculously hot. When I think the peak of it was when Cody beat Roman. In and around that time, then obviously they went on that European tour. They had that insane crowd in Lyon in France. When like the Jey Uso, what do you call it? When everyone was doing the eating, and everyone was singing that song for AJ Styles, and people couldn't get enough of WWE. Literally, there were people fighting each other in bloody ticket booths for tickets and this, that, and the other. And they just kept putting the prices up and up and up. I mean, case in point, I've looked today. WWE. I can't announce this yet, by the way. However, there looks like there's a fairly good chance that there should be some WWE videos on this channel next month, because there is. Why am I telling you that for? Oh, yeah, there's a European tour coming up, and they've just announced some dates for England. So there's one in Birmingham. I could possibly go to that one because I've got family down there, but it's a bit further away from me. There's one in Cardiff. I'm actually due to go to Cardiff to see Ghana versus Wales. Yes, that's right. I'm Ghanaian. Well, half Ghanaian. But there's also, in a quirk of fate, there's actually a WWE Raw show in the M&S Bank Arena, which is based in Liverpool. And guess who's a Liverpool fan? And guess who loves the city? So yeah, that's actually on May the 28th. Funnily enough, I'm actually going to Liverpool like 10 days before that, for my birthday and stuff. And funnily enough, I'm also planning on going there for the last game of the season. I haven't got tickets or anything, but I just want to be in, the area to say goodbye to Andy Robbo and Mo Salah. So I might, basically, long story short, there's an outside chance I could be in Liverpool 3 times in 8 days, something along them lines, basically. But yeah, if I can get tickets, I cannot promise, so don't quote me yet, but I may be going to see Monday Night Raw, but in Liverpool. And it would also be on the Thursday, but it's still called Monday Night Raw, which is a bit weird, but still. So yeah, but yeah, sorry, Finn. The whole point was, I looked at the tickets for Liverpool, right? And it's bizarre because the cheapest ticket, which I'm going to get done in for, unfortunately, because I don't get paid for another 2 weeks, so I can't actually buy the damn things, you know. The cheapest ticket going is 73 quid. Now, bearing in mind, as you guys know, I go to a lot of these things on my own, which makes me sound like a loner, and it's true, because I am a loner, and I like doing the filming and scheduling and stuff, and on my own, basically, which makes me sound like a bit of a weirdo. But I know it's a bit weird, but I actually quite like going to these things on my own most of the time. I mean, I go with my brother and the lads and this, that, and the other, but stuff like going to AEW at Wembley, I kind of just prefer going on my own, and then I can crack on and do what I'm supposed to be doing and stuff. But yeah, the fact that, I suppose what I'm saying is the fact that I'm pleased about a ticket just being 73 quid. I mean, Jesus Christ. I remember being outraged when me and the boys went to, where did we go to? WWE Sheffield, so not the recent one that they've had, the one, there was one about 10, 12 years ago. I forget when it was, about 13, 14 years ago. And one of my mates got tickets and he bought us tickets without consulting me, right? And one of them was 48 quid. And I think his was like 54 because he'd had like one of those seats with levers or whatever it is. And I was absolutely outraged. I was like, mate, that's like nearly bloody 50 quid. I can't be paying 50 quid to watch wrestling. What's going on? 50 quid now to watch wrestling. You'd be lucky to get that in bloody an independent show. Let alone WWE, AEW. I mean, my AEW ticket cost me 95 quid, I think, and I'm literally halfway up in the arena. It was the best one that I could do for photography, for filming, and all that business. And literally, honestly, bro, it's like it's probably because I'm old, but like I honestly, some of the prices of these things now are absolutely outrageous. By the way, whilst I'm waffling on, if there are any Liverpool fans watching, I'm sure, I know there's a couple of yous because obviously you follow me because Liverpool, which is the main thing that I do on the channel. If any of you can post anything or look on your socials about anything to do with the protests against the FSG raising the prices of the season tickets, so they've raised them by like £5 a match, and they're going to be doing it in the next 3 years, which I think is outrageous. You can get information from there's groups called there's Spirit of Shankly, the Spy and Cop, Cop Outs, the Liverpool Women's Supporters Association. Apologies to them, I'm not quite sure how it's said. And yeah, there's like loads and loads of resources and stuff. So if you want to get behind the campaign, I'd urge you to do some reading if you get some minutes. If you're a Liverpool fan, and post any support or information that you can do. Conversely, if anyone wants to let me know about anything that you've heard about, if you're a Liverpool fan, just give me a shout and I'll put it on my socials as well, because like I said, these prices, like, and it's not just Liverpool, this affects like Man United fans. I mean, Arsenal, what the Arsenal fans are charged is an absolute disgrace. Chelsea fans, what Tottenham, ironically enough, considering they're going to get relegated by the looks of it, what they charge their fans is absolutely outrageous, to be honest. So it affects a lot of us. So if you can do something, then it would be appreciated, basically. Anyway, I'm climbing off the high horse now and going back to wrestling. So there we go. You'll overtake me, man. Nah, nowhere near, Finman. Absolutely nowhere near. Well, reading this, 2441 subscribers. Well, Finn, you must be getting close to being able to do a paid partnership off of that. I would have thought, especially with your watch hours. I don't think I'm a million miles away with the watch hours. Subscribers, no, I'm way behind you, mate. Way behind you. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's not a race at the end of the day. Let's have a look. I remember last year, one of my shorts went viral and I got 18k views and I gained 700 subscribers in 2 days. Bloody hell, mate. Crikey. That's very, very good, mate. Very good. I think the best I've done when I've had a viral... Funnily enough, I probably owe Pete Crouch a drink and Dirk Cout a drink, because I literally posted, you might have seen this on the Liverpool section of the channel, but it's that thing where I went to the Legends match and Dirk Cout tries this overhead kick and it nearly cleared the cop end, basically. And I don't know what possessed me. I think I was hungover, but I basically put this short on. I thought, now I'll put it on for a laugh. And first hour or so, like, I don't know, like 500 or 600 people saw it, and I thought, that's not too bad for like a 15-second clip. I checked it the next day, and it had gone to like, I think something ludicrous, like 14,000 views, and I'm like, it's just as short of some bloke missing an overhead kick by 40 miles. Why does everyone think that's entertaining? I don't know. Anyway, so recently, obviously, I went to the Legends game again, and Crouchy was there, and I put on this thing where one of the Liverpool players in the Legends game does a cross into Crouch and he just misses it, but he sort of falls on the floor like this, was like wobbling about for like 2 seconds, then gets his arse back up basically. And it's my best ever video. It got like 25,000 views, and I'm just like, some of the videos that I've done, I'm not saying they're technical masterpieces by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I've really worked hard on them and stuff, and I've put them all together, and like, not shorts as in actual videos. So I've edited them, time coded them, put information in them, and so on and so forth. And they've had like 6 views, and I'm like, oh, well, I did all that effort. I take a picture of some fella falling over, and it gets nearly 30,000 views. I don't know. I don't know. What are these young people like, eh? It's fine, man, but it's something. Ah, yes, I watched WWE football too. I'm excited for Obi versus Brock because it's the best matchup by far. What I was going to talk to you, well, not to just you, Finn, but everyone. In fact, I'll tell you what, because I'm going to go a bit all over the place with this. I was going to talk about this later, but Finn, I don't know if you've seen the lineups for night 1 and night 2, because they actually came out the other day. I'm just trawling through my notes here of everything that I've watched the last few days, so just bear with me. Right. I'm really looking forward to Brock versus Oba too. However, I don't know what you think about this, but like, I've read the Saturday Night Mania, and I think it's been done deliberately to like increase anticipation for night 2, because, I mean, frankly, night 2, excuse my language, it pisses all over night 1 basically. So I'll read it out to you, right? And everyone else. So WWE Saturday Night WrestleMania. So this is the Saturday night coming up. Obviously this Saturday night. Jacob Fatu versus Drew. Should be all right. I'll just call it the iShow Speed match. I'm not even going to make a comment on it because I think it's ridiculous. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Really good. The women's 4-way match. Yeah. I would have preferred to see Charlotte Flair in an actual singles match personally, but that's just my opinion. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, obviously that'll be really good. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan, a lot more interested than I was. And then Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, right? So that's night 1. That's night 1. So there's 7 matches on night 1. I don't know if they're doing pre-show matches because they've not confirmed people like Damian Priest and R-Truth yet. I know the Wyatts are booked to face the MFTs again for some horrendous reason on Friday Night Smackdown, which I think is going to go through before the Hall of Fame, which presumably means that Smackdown will be on earlier, I think. I'm not sure if we get the Hall of Fame via Netflix. I'll check in a bit. Like I said, I've got so much to plan this week for wrestling in general, so I'll have a look into that. But anyway, this is the Sunday. So what I've just read is Saturday night, right? This is Sunday. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. The Penta ladder match that involves Mysterio and Javon Evans and Rusev and all them people. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the IC. Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor, and Finn Balor is going to be the Demon. And then Punk versus Roman. Now, to me, you could make an argument in that second night. There's like 3 main events in it. Well, I mean, 3's pushing it, but I mean, Femi versus Lesnar is definitely a main event. Punk versus Roman is definitely a main event. You could make an argument because it involves Rhea Ripley, and she's literally possibly one of the most popular wrestlers or popular entertainers in the world right now. And obviously they've built Jade up. You could make a kind of an argument that's a main event match, not so much as the other ones, obviously. The Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams thing has now turned into one of the most interesting things on the programme at the minute. So I do wonder whether it's been done deliberately to try and basically make that anticipation go from there to there to there to there, and like culminate in Punk versus Roman. I mean, I don't know what else you could have moved. I suppose you could have had, I don't know, Brock Lesnar versus Ober on the first night, and then swap Jacob Fatu and Drew, maybe. I mean, the good thing is obviously both nights, obviously John Cena's going to be there. So Cena's going to be on both nights. So that's the way that they get people into the crowd. So obviously you have got Cena hosting it, so there's going to be a shitload of people watching it, basically. I still have a theory that the Great One may show up as well. I'm not sure what match, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the two title fights, because there is a way that you can fit The Rock into either the Cody match or the CM Punk match, but I'll speak about that a bit later. Let me have a look. When is your birthday? It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I haven't got any money. Sorry. May the 16th, Finn. May the 16th. So I'm going up to Liverpool to see my family. Shout out to the fam. On probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Should be getting to Liverpool about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, something along them lines. We're going out in Liverpool, going out drinking. And then, funnily enough, the day after, part of my family's going back to the Midlands, but the other half are staying because Aston Villa are actually playing Liverpool on that day. Unfortunately, it's at Villa Park, but funnily enough, I've never actually seen Liverpool play on TV in Liverpool, if that makes any sense, all the times I've been there. So I'm going to stop up. I've got a day. Have I got a day off that day? I think possibly. Yeah, I've got a couple of days off after that. So I'm basically going to either stop in Liverpool or I'm going to get a hotel in Manchester, like on the fly, and go from there. So yeah, that should be good. It should be good. Let's have a look. Oh, JR Garza. Hello, JR Garza. We spoke before, haven't we? How you doing, mate? You're all right. I can wait. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Tell me about JR. I was really. I was hoping that I was kind of going to be watching it this evening, but sadly, Mrs. Meta has been called into work. And I have a little lad who has this quite annoying habit, even on holidays, of getting up at 6:45 in the morning. So if I was to watch Monday Night Raw, then basically I would be furnished with about 3 hours sleep. So sadly, I will not be watching Monday Night Raw late tonight. I am going to watch both WrestleManias, though, late night. And go from there, basically. So there'll be coverage on here. I think I'm going to go to the pub to see one of them. I haven't quite worked out the logistics of that. Also, our internet is being something rhyming with Rasted at the minute. I'll leave that you guys to interpret that one. So there could be a slight issue with me watching WrestleMania. So should my brother and my mother be watching this feed at the minute, hi guys, you may have to inherit me and possibly not watch anything on your TVs, or I may have to look at alternative means of watching it on Netflix. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that, let's have a look. Yeet and Woo. Yeet. Yeah, I do wonder what Jey Uso thinks about all this, Gaza, to be honest. Like, bear in mind, he was so over last year, and he literally beat Gunther in that amazing first match, and everything was going well for him, and now he's in a tag match with ISHO Speed. Look, I mean, obviously, I know it's still going to be a money match for Jey Uso, because that's the one that a lot of social media, that's a lot of mainstream media, that's the one that's going to bring attention, so that's probably the match that maybe you want to be in. Bit disappointed with LA Knight. I would have liked him to have been in a bigger match than that, because I think he deserves it after all his years of trying, but I mean, sadly, I don't know where you put LA Knight at the minute. I really don't. So that's probably the best he can get on the card. So yeah, yeah, just a random thought about Jey Uso, basically. Saturday is dead, but night 2 is cooking up something good. Well, yeah, Finn, that's what I was thinking, mate. That's really what I was thinking. Because it just looks deliberately. I'm not saying it's crap by any stretch of the imagination. Look, I'm looking forward to Jake Fatu versus Drew. I would have liked if there'd have been a title on the line, even if they'd like, I don't know, for some stupid reason, like Hot Potato Drew the American United States title or the Intercontinental or just something, or said like whoever wins out of these two lads is the new number one contender on for Monday Night Raw. That's the one I would have just gone with. And then that builds anticipation. But the fact it's basically for bugger all is like, well, I mean, why are we doing it for? Basically, it's just I don't know. It just seems very very random to me. The iShow Speed match, as I say, the younger people like yourself might be interested. I have no interest in that whatsoever, quite frankly. Gunther versus Seth Rollins again. I'd be super hyped about that, mate. I really, really would. But again, what is it for? What is it for? You can't, and like I said, I'm old man shouting at the clouds again, folks. So I do apologise. I've waffled on about this for the last few weeks. You cannot put Gunther and Seth Rollins, two of the best professional wrestlers in the world, top 10. You cannot just throw that match out with 2 weeks to go with no build. We still don't know why Gunther actually wants to face Rollins. They kind of pivoted and said it was something to do with Paul Heyman, and then Gunther kind of said that it wasn't. So it's like, well, why? Why are we doing the match for? I don't know. The women's four-way match, I haven't enjoyed the build to that at all. I mean, it's been blatantly obvious for weeks that something was going to happen with them. I actually feel very sorry for Kiana James and Julia, actually, because they were involved in that whole angle. And they just seem to have been thrown by the wayside. I mean, I don't know if the women are going to get their own Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. I've said that wrong. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, because I know the lads are getting one on Smackdown because they've moved to Smackdown. Basically, now WWE's been very, really clever. They've kind of made Smackdown the proto like night one of WrestleMania. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, well you're in WrestleMania weekend, so you are on the card. But if I'm like the MFTs or like the Wyatts, because I mean for the Wyatts not to be on either is outrageous, to be honest. Like I'd just be sat if I was like bloody Uncle Howdy, obviously Bo Dallas, I would just be like, yeah, I didn't work my arse off for the entire last year to have a random match on SmackDown that I've already had. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch is the one I'm really looking forward to on night one. Really looking forward to that. Stephanie McMahon, God, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? Stephanie Vickers versus Liv Morgan. To be fair, I am slightly more interested now because I actually think that's been one of the better builds. I was very worried about that match at the start, but I think it's actually been very entertaining. I love that spot where Stephanie McMahon busted Jesus Christ, Stephanie Vickers. That'll get clipped. Stephanie Vickers basically gets thrown into that TV because I don't know if any of you have seen like the images on social media. She's got a legit shiner, as in like not a kayfabe shiner, as in like an actual like for a shoot shiner. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. And then the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing, I would have been perfectly happy if it had just been babyface versus babyface. And I think looking back on it, that's what they should have done. This whole thing with Pat McAfee. And by the way, Pat, if you're going to try and come back at CM Punk, at least come up with something relatively entertaining, mate, because that as a diss response back was, I mean, I don't know if the children still say weak these days, but it was pretty piss poor and lame. Like, seriously, like, Punk's been called a hypocrite for most of the last 20 years, even when he was in Ring of Honor. I mean, seriously, that's the best you can do. Which I guess is kind of the point because he's trying to be an annoying heel, so I suppose technically speaking it's actually worked, but I think the whole thing of turning Pat McAfee as a heel is absolutely ridiculous for me. I know some people are kind of enjoying it. I just think it's ludicrous because people are still going to boo, cheer for him. I wouldn't be surprised at all if half of that crowd in Vegas wants Randy Orton to win and will cheer Pat McAfee if he cheats. And this is the problem that I've got with the whole Cody Rhodes thing. You've put Cody in situations in the last year alone where you're expecting him to get cheered over John Cena, The Rock, Travis Scott, Kevin Owens, who's super over. Who else has he had to face? Yeah, there was the whole KO thing. There was another feud that Cody had. AJ Styles, when half of France wanted him to win, basically, and now you put him in a feud with Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. It's kind of coming across like they are doing it deliberately, just to like. I kind of have a theory that I'm just trying to get my notes back into old folks, to be honest. Just bear me a second. I have this working theory that Cody Rhodes, they want to turn him into the next John Cena, as in they want the crowd to start chanting, let's go Cody, Cody sucks, basically. But for this generation, because obviously they made a shit ton of merch, because obviously people were buying those shirts, basically saying, yeah, I hate John Cena. And it's just, I remember at the time thinking, you dipshits do know he gets royalties out of this. You are making John Cena like a multi-millionaire. And it was really, looking back on it, I didn't understand it at the time. Looking back, it was very clever marketing by WWE. Very clever marketing. So I do wonder whether that's what they're trying to do with Cody, because I don't understand why they keep putting Cody Rhodes, if you're going to have sympathy for, if you're going to make him a sympathetic babyface, you need to put him up against a complete arsehole. So the Drew McIntyre thing kind of worked, because Drew is a bit of an arse, although it didn't end very well for him. I mean, in terms of heels, I mean, I actually quite like I thought he was going to run a program with Aleister Black. I really thought that was going to be a good idea, and Aleister Black's not even going to make WrestleMania now, which is, again, absolutely outrageous. Aleister Black, he'll get a good response. Other than that, I mean, if they put Trick Williams with Cody Rhodes now, Trick Williams is like possibly the most over person in that company, or at least one of the top 10. Like, the crowd would literally be chanting, whoop that trick, whoop that trick. So, I mean, the only other person I think who you can get a tune out of Cody Rhodes is going to be Gunther, because people hate him after what he did with Cena and AJ Styles. That's the only route that I think that they can go at this point. Even if it was Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes again, I think half the crowd would be chanting for Seth Rollins. I do wonder with Cody at some stage whether common sense might have to prevail and people might just say, look, we need to turn him heel, basically. But I don't know. Let's have a look. I think Cena helps Cody to win. Potentially, yeah. I suppose in that way he gets the rub off Cena, and yeah, that's a good idea. Finn, actually, to be fair. No, funny enough, I've not even thought of that one, unless of course Cena doesn't help Cody to win, and he turns heel on him after all that and says, yeah, you remember when I said I was going to be a good guy? Yeah, that was all horseshit. But then it's just like, well, why would he do that when he's retired? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope WWE actually, now think about it, doesn't do that, because people will just be like, well, what was the point in turning him into a baby but stuff? Let's have a look. WWE needs to do a title change at Backlash, because otherwise Backlash is too predictable after Mania. Well, that's always been the problem with Backlash, Finn. It's always that they always do like for the most part, they always do like the reverse matches, basically. I remember when they had The Rock and Stone Cold back in the day, and then Backlash was The Rock and Stone Cold again, and The Rock and Stone Cold had fought each other at that point, God knows how many times at that point. So, yeah, hopefully they'll do something brand new and innovative. I wouldn't be surprised if they push over Femi straight away for the title. In fact, if Punk retained or if Roman won it, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Femi was the #1 contender and then just give him the title straight away and just turn him into an absolute killer. I think Trick Williams, I'm going to make a prediction right now, I think Trick Williams this time next year may be in the main event. Not the main event, he'll be in one of them though, like the top 3 or something. Don't forget, obviously, you've still got the Bron Breakker of it all. Is he fit? I wouldn't be surprised at all if Breakker turns up, because obviously they keep giving updates about Bronson Reed, because obviously he's got a legit shoot injury, but Breaker they've just kept really quiet about. I still think there's half a chance he shows up at WrestleMania personally, unless he's going to be Monday Night Raw. Who knows? If I'm being honest, the match I'm most looking forward to is AJ and Becky. Yeah, that's my favourite one Finn as well. For there we go. I'm 16, but we've got no interest in the iShow Speed match. Yeah, no, I kind of asked my lad Finn today, and obviously he's way younger than you, but he's like 12, and I was just like, oh well, what do your mates think about iShow Speed and people like that? And this is how old I am. I was just like, yeah, he's kind of an old man now. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, what do you mean he's an old man? The dude's like, what? I don't know how iShow Speed is basically, but I presumed that he was about 27 or something along the lines. I've got no idea, but there you go. Let's have a look. I think AJ wins night one and drops it later in the year to put someone over. Possibly, because I don't think she's going to be a full-time roster member personally. Did you see iShow Speed is 21? Why is my son calling me an old man? That is just that. Well, if he thinks that's an old man, I mean, God alone knows what he thinks about me. Christ, I'm more than twice Speed's age. There we go. Did you see Liv Morgan's new music video? I have not, Finn. However, I'll tell you what, I'll put that on my little notepad here, because I've got loads of notes. Liv Morgan's... As in an entrance video? New video. I will have a look, Finn, as soon as I've done this. Like I said, I'm probably going to be up for another 2 or 3 hours because I haven't actually finished watching AEW Dynasty. So if anyone knows the result of Ospreay and Moxley, look, I won't be really upset if you tell me, but try not to tell me should anyone else turn up. Thanks. Because I've only got 2 more matches to go. I started watching that, by the way, at 7 o'clock. In fact, no, I'll tell you, like 6:30 this evening because our internet is absolute rubbish. It's taken so long to get there, so yeah, there we go. No, it's an officially music video. Is it? All right, I'll call. I shall have a look at that. Right, guys, just bear with me 1 second and bear with me, Finn. For those of you listening on podcast, I'm just going to run through some of the notes that I've made, basically. It's kind of going to be all over the place. I'm actually going to get a laptop, and yes, look, your boy does make notes. Check that out. Oh, and also, Finn, if you don't believe me, there you go. Check out Liv Morgan's video. See, I do write it down. Right, guys, I'll rattle through some of the things that I want to say quickly. Like I said, it won't take a ridiculous amount of time. I'm just going to read out a few things that have happened the last few days, because like I said, I was going to do a live stream on... by the way, she won tonight, Tekla, just to mention again. Oh, if I didn't mention, Manchester United 1, Leeds United 2, just in case anyone missed that result, by the way. Anyway, so basically, in the last few days, I've caught up with AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision. I'm halfway through AEW Dynasty. I've actually watched TNA Rebellion as well, like the YouTube highlights, which was a bit weird. It's not the TNA that I remember, to be honest. Watched Smackdown and also found out about the WrestleMania card as well. So there's I've done nothing but watch wrestling today, basically, to the point where it actually quite annoyed my wife, who came in this evening wanting to watch I'm a Celebrity, and I'm still sat there watching AEW. But there we go. So yeah, just a couple of things that I want to mention. This is a bit of a random one, so if you guys don't know, there's a bit of a situation involving TNA and AEW at the minute, and potentially WWE. Some of you may have heard, some of you may have not. There was quite a few shows that were meant to take place in and around WrestleMania. So I think there was one called I Create Wrestling or something along them lines, and a couple of other like independents that were going to do like combined shows with like TNA wrestlers, New Japan wrestlers, CMLL wrestlers, AEW, and so on, and independent wrestlers, and so on and so forth. The TNA president, Carlos Silva, and I know I don't talk about TNA that often, but I used to go and watch it fairly regularly because I was a massive TNA fan about 15 years ago, has basically told probably in excess of 5 or 6 TNA talents that they cannot, in fact, go onto these independent shows, and you can probably guess the reason why. It's not been said officially, but basically, I think MJF was due to face Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth, of course, was Dolph Ziggler in WWE. TNA now have an existing agreement with WWE, as in talent sharing and this, that, and the other. TNA were actually working with AEW for a while, at least 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer than that, because Kenny Omega, when he was doing the whole belt collector gimmick, was basically working with TNA wrestlers, and now all of a sudden that's magically just disappeared. I don't really know. I don't really know if I mentioned it. All I just want to say is Carlos Silva. I don't really know who you are, mate, but get a life, will you? Like we all know that these wrestlers exist, and we all know they've been WWE, and we all know they've been AEW. Like the WWE audience know AEW are, and vice versa. And it's just like, look, if that's the price that you are paying to keep the company afloat by taking WWE money, that's really, really sad, and it doesn't help the business whatsoever. So, mate, seriously, all I'm going to say is wind your neck in, will you? Right, so after that, basically, the first one was AW Dynamite. So this is what this show should have been, basically, last Thursday. Just looking through my notes. Oh, if you've not seen it, actually, check out the brawl between Will Ospreay and the United Empire and the Death Riders, because basically, obviously, Will's been having a little war with John Moxley, because Mox's storyline put him out. Obviously, Will had like neck issues and stuff that he needs to get fixed in England, but storyline wise, they made it out as if John Moxley put him out. I was actually at Forbidden Door when Mox basically beat the living shit out of Will Ospreay, and he had to be carried out, and like lots of my fellow countrymen were less than amused by this, and Death Riders got insulted and called arseholes, and like Marina Shafir was giving it large to the people when we saw her under the entrance ramp and telling us all to F off, basically, and it was quite cool, actually. I technically got involved in an angle that night, which was, I think I was very polite in English and shouted, "Oh, go away." Which was not the coolest insult, but still, never mind. But yeah, there was a parking lot brawl between the United Empire, which was Will Ospreay's group in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the Death Riders. He also teamed up with his missus, Alex Windsor. And Windsor ended up in a fight with Marina Shafir. They ended up on the dark match last night as well for AEW Dynasty. I think Alex Windsor went over Marina Shafir as well. I'm not sure why that was relegated to a dark match, to be honest, but hey ho, never mind. What else? Did anything else happen interesting on Dynamite? Oh, those of you who watch WWE, Chris Jericho came back, because obviously he's came back for his second appearance, and basically he was going to sign his contract for AEW. I mean, obviously he's already signed a contract, but as in gimmick-wise, he had an actual gimmick contract to sign. And I didn't catch on at the time, but it was an actual list, and it said Jericho on it, so you know where this is going. All of a sudden, Ricochet comes out and starts having a go at Jericho and this, that, and the other, and Jericho's about to sign this thing. And then all of a sudden says, "Do you know what happens when you're bold? Do you know what happens when you insult Chris Jericho?" And then Ricochet's going, "No, no, 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 no." And all the crowd knew what was coming, because obviously it was a WWE fit, and just the way Jericho sold it was brilliant. And he just went, "You just made the list." And it was so good. It was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Shout out to Jericho for that. Did anything else really happen? There was a brawl between MJF and Kenny Omega. I think I've seen the result of MJF and Kenny Omega by accident. I'm hoping that I haven't, but I'm fairly sure I have, sadly. So, yes, I'm still going to watch it tonight, but that was about all that was on Dynamite. So the next thing that I watched was Smackdown. I've actually written here, cringe McAfee angle. Like I said, but I'm sure some of the younger people will like it, because it's like blurring the lines of pro wrestling, but it's not for me. I don't know why they've gone down this, but I mean, with McAfee of all people, like I said, I just don't know what they're trying to achieve with it, quite frankly. Oh, let's have a look. Rhea Ripley came out, took out Meechin, took out B-Fab, basically caused absolute chaos on the show. Bailey versus Alexa Bliss. Shout out to both ladies. That was a really good match. I actually really enjoyed it. Alexa Bliss went over. If you can check it out, do check it out because it was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed Drew McIntyre's promo on Jake Fatu when he was in the prison. And I like where they worked that angle up. Like I said, I'm looking forward to this a lot more. Like I said, my only thing with Drew and Jacob is I just really wish there was a title on the line or there was a number one contenders match or something, because it's just like I don't know why we're doing it, basically. I've got no idea. And I just feel so sorry for Drew because, like, when is he going to get that main event at WrestleMania? I mean, I know technically he's had 2 main events, but, like, one was during COVID, and the second one he won the title, but then he was stripped of it, like, 2 minutes later because of a cash-in, so I don't know. Royce Keys debuted after debuting in January, which was really weird. And then after he'd won his match against Berto, I think his name is, from Los Garza, it was a 5-minute squash match, basically, nothing to write home about. Just when you want to make a big positive start of Royce Keys, they've turned him into a babyface. I thought he was heel, but still, never mind. And then who do they put him with? Solo Sikoa, who has offered him to join the MFTs, and I'm just like, well, that's his career dead forever. We had more Jelly Roll and McAfee nonsense. There was the line that McAfee said, ICW, IWC even, Marks, if you will, you're welcome, because they're trying to be all cool and hip and like, haha, we know the terms for Marks and kayfabe and stuff. It's like, yeah, got it. Guys, I'm sorry, but Punk was doing that like 15 years ago. Brian Pillman, God rest his soul, was doing that 32 years ago. So, yeah, I just think it's ridiculous, to be honest. One thing I did want to mention was the whole thing about Sami Zayn. Do you know what? Fair play to Sami Zayn, the way he's handled that. I was really, really impressed with what they've done with him and Trick Williams. Because obviously Cody Rhodes is getting out and out booed, and they're just trying to John Cena him and basically like, yeah, the crowds are entitled to say whatever they want to, even though they're calling me a dick and this, that, and the other. Sami Zayn's gone the complete opposite way, where he's pretty much now half babyface and half heel, because he's basically said, let's not beat around the bush. Yeah, I know people are booing me, but I believe in myself, and I've got my hardcore fans. They love me. If you don't like me, basically, I couldn't care less. But he's also being slightly heelish with it, and also slightly babyface, and also he's being quite annoying, like visibly patronising, annoying. I'm sorry about the glasses, folks. By the way, it's the glare of the laptop. Yeah, no, I thought it was a really nuanced performance. I thought it was excellent work by Sami. I really like that promo. Really, really good. It's probably my favourite promo of the year, actually. So shout out Sami Zayn for that. Obviously, because of that, that's put Trick Williams super over now, and he's meant to be a heel. And, like, basically in Vegas now, like, everyone's going to want Trick Williams to win, which I guess is kind of the point. Maybe they turn Trick Williams... I don't think there's much point in making Trick Williams heel anymore, to be honest. I would just make him babyface, personally, because he's super over, and he's another one that can do some work for SmackDown. He's another one as well. I've just suddenly thought, Dragunov, what's going on with him? He's got no match. No match for Dragunov. And Mello appears to now be injured. Is that right? I don't... There are so many people missing. I mean, I'm assuming that people like Dragunov and Mello are going to be on the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I mean, who knows? I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, shout out for Sami Zayn. Let's have a look. Oh, obviously at the end it was Io Sky versus Jade, and Io's kind of been injured by Jade, and Rhea chased her off. Blah blah blah. The one thing that I did want to mention, I'm gonna have to do it. You are cursed. Um, I'm sorry, but he's so brilliant. Let me know in the comments what you think about Danhausen, or you can respond tomorrow if you like, if you're not watching this now. I'm sorry, but Danhausen is brilliant, and I will be getting one of his action figures. And I will also definitely be getting a t-shirt should I go to Liverpool to see Monday Night Raw, because honest to God, he just makes me laugh. Whatever he says, because it's so stupid, and it just reminds me basically he'd be a perfect character to be in like Evil Dead or someone like that. Because honestly, the guy's just. I mean, my son, I told him what had happened. So obviously, Danhausen had his first match against Kit Wilson, and the bit where he said "You are cursed" when Kit Wilson crotched the top rope, and basically, um, I told my son basically it looks like Kit Wilson's just had his balls electrocuted. And my son thought this was the funniest thing in the world, and he saw it. Well, I mean, he's on the floor, there's tears coming out, he's eating the floor, and this, that, and the other. I'm a 45-year-old man. I'm trying to tell him it's not that funny, and then I burst into laughter because just the way it was done was just absolutely bloody priceless. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Danhausen is at WrestleMania. In fact, I think there's going to be quite a few people who are going to be very pissed off. He's not many. In fact, my prediction is I reckon he has a segment with John Cena. Because if no one suggested it, because Cena, to be fair to him, comedic wise and his timing and everything, he is absolutely brilliant at that sort of thing. Um, if no one suggested Cena working with Danhausen in some capacity over WrestleMania week, and they're not doing the job because it just sounds too funny to be true. Just really quickly as well, I watched a bit of TNA just because I've had some time off. I thought to myself, yeah, so I'll watch some more wrestling. I'm not saying I'm gonna start covering TNA. If my circumstances change, I might start covering TNA. Haven't really got time to do it at the minute because I'm miles behind. I haven't got a bloody clue what's going on. But just some bits and pieces off of that. Shout out to ODB. I won't tell you what that stands for, but those of you who watched TNA back in the day will know what it stands for. Fantastic woman, fantastic worker. She's just been put in the TNA Hall of Fame. Absolutely deserves it. Her gimmick at the time was like not revolutionary, obviously, but just like the way that she did it and owned it. Yeah, shout out to her. She thoroughly deserves it. She's been a credit to the business, so I'm really, really happy for her. There's probably not much more that I can say about Rebellion because, like I said, I can't really give you a TNA discussion because I haven't watched it for years, so I have no idea what's going on. One thing I was interested in, though, was the return of EC3, Ethan Carter III. EC3, if you remember, if you're a WWE fan, was actually in WWE about 10 years ago. It was at that point where TNA's biggest stars started leaving and this, that, and the other after the Hogan and Bischoff debacle and the Carters having to sell the company and so on and so forth. Anyway, EC3 was one of the people that got picked up by WWE and basically it just ruined it. Like, he was meant to be this aristocratic, like, kind of like Triple H was back in the day, like not a blue blood, but like, Ivy League American snooty arse bastard, basically, and they just didn't lean into any of it whatsoever. And his whole run, nothing to do with EC3, it was just unmitigated shambles. I know he's been working independence quite a bit. I think he was with, oh my god, I forgot who it is now. The NWA National Wrestling Association, Alliance Association, I think. The one that Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins took over a while ago. He may have been in House of Glory as well, I can't remember, but he's been working a lot of the sort of smaller promotions. But he's now back in TNA basically, and he's having a match with Eric Young, who, again, if you're a WWE fan who doesn't know much about TNA, he was the leader of Sanity. I don't know if anyone remembers that. So the original group that Nikki Cross came from. who had a couple of them big lads in back in the day. So yes, that should be good and interesting. Like I said, I might start to watch TNA again. I mean, one of the things I would like to do, if this becomes a thing, I would like to start covering NXT as well, because I literally I know roughly what's going on in it. I haven't got a clue what's going in here. I quite like that fellow that plays the Italian bloke and the Italian American. Sorry, is it Tony D'Angelo? He looks decent, to be fair. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of NXT calls up on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, which is always like super interesting. I think Ethan Page goes. I wouldn't be surprised if it's SmackDown. Ethan Page should not be on NXT. Let's have it right. He should be, bare minimum, Ethan Page should be in the conversation for an Intercontinental Championship run. It's probably a bit too early for him to be world title contender, but in my opinion, he should be, because I think Ethan Page is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. I mean, why he's there for, I do not know. Same thing with Ricky Sage, really. Same thing with Blake Monroe. None of them actually need to be there, really, in my opinion. So maybe Tony D'Angelo's the one that they're going to have as the NXT person. I mean, again, you've got Joe Hendry. I mean, I still think Joe Hendry might turn up on WrestleMania. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I would like to cover all these things, like Denise Salcedo does. By the way, if I can point you towards anyone who's actually a real wrestling analyst, I'm just some fat bloke who talks about wrestling. Denise Salcedo, if you don't know it, is mustard. She is absolutely brilliant. In fact, she covers Monday Night Raw, so she's going to be on, I think, in about an hour or something like that. If you do stay up to watch Raw as a companion piece, I'd encourage you to watch Denise, because honestly, she's just absolutely brilliant. Shout out Denise for being brilliant. I've told you about the Saturday and Sunday WrestleManias. Liverpool review of the season. Why have I put that for? Oh, yes, actually, guys, cheap plug. So at the moment, obviously, you guys know that I do Substack and Reddit and all sorts of social media stuff. I'm actually planning on doing, in fact, there's a couple of things while I'm doing cheap plugs, as Mick Foley once said. I'm going to be doing for the football fans amongst you, a Liverpool review of the season, which at the minute is not going to be great. We will see what happens tomorrow, but basically I'm going to time that for probably the Monday after the season finishes, because I might actually be potentially in Liverpool. Potentially, I think I've got the day off after the last. In fact, I have got the day off after the last game of the season, so I'm going to do some sort of review of the season. So yeah, that'll be on the 24th of May, I think. So I'm actually writing a Substack article as I go along, and one from the Reddit communities as well. But what I'm doing, and I might do a vid as well on this, I'm actually going to do some polls. So I've got best goal. So to give you an example, basically, I've got Dominic Szoboszlai against Arsenal, Dominic Szoboszlai against Man City, Dominic Szoboszlai versus Brighton, Dominic Szoboszlai against Barnsley, and Rio Ingabo versus Newcastle, basically. So then I've got categories like best player of the year. I mean, don't really need to do that. Then a match of the season, so I put 1-0 against Real Madrid, 4-1 against Newcastle, the 4-0 against Galatasaray, the 1-0 against Arsenal, and so on and so forth. And I put worst player. I'll just say sorry, Cody. And most improved player, and so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, folks, basically I'm going to be doing like a review of the season, and I'm also going to be doing a Substack review of the season and a Reddit one. So if anyone wants to join at the end of the season, you're more than welcome to as well. One of the other things, just quickly, that I was going to say about the channel, I've actually, some of you may have noticed the other day that I've updated my live shows. So there's like, I think I've put like something in the region of 60 on today, basically, which somehow I'm going to try and film all these before Christmas and all the way up till Avengers Doomsday, which I'm going to do something on as well, because like I said, I'm a bit of a comic book guy. I don't do it as much as I did, because I'm trying to concentrate more on Liverpool and pro wrestling at the minute. But yeah, I will be doing something with that. But one of the things that I am doing, and I know a lot of you on podcast, obviously you've known me for a while, will know that I am not a fan of the international break or a fan of club football stopping. In fact, I find it excruciatingly annoying, basically. So, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to solve my own problem because on Friday nights, I think starting from the 29th of May, so what day are we on now? Is it July the July? April the 14th? Yes, you're talking this is 6 weeks' time. In fact, 6 weeks on Friday, I believe. I'm going to start a new, not a series, but I'm going to do like a Liverpool Friday night wrap up, basically. And basically, as soon as I finish work, I'm going to find somewhere cool that's nice and warm because obviously we'll be getting into summer, so I can take you around Leeds that most of you seem to like. I can take you to Kirkstall Abbey, University, maybe Headingley, and a few other places, maybe Roundhay one of the days. And basically, I'm going to do a Liverpool out of season live stream slash podcast. And basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to collect all the stories about Liverpool over the course of a week. So transfers, what's going on in the World Cup, rumours, thoughts about the next season, what's going to happen with the manager, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's going to be on Friday, starting from May the 27th or 29th, something along the lines. If you want to have a look at what I've done today, it's all in my live schedules, basically. So I've updated a load of stuff. And what I'm going to be doing in the summer as well. So I've put down about going to AEW. I've got some stuff about San Diego Comic Con that I kind of cover a little bit because I'm very Comic Con orientated. I've put about going to some Comic Cons as well. I've put about going to York Pride. I've put, talked about going to Leeds Double Pride because there's two Pride events. I think July the 19th and July the 20th, something on them lines. So I'm going to like live stream the festivals basically. So if there are any trolls watching, I'll see you at the parade. Yeah, so basically I've uploaded loads of stuff, and I'm going to be going to High Pot Unity as well, which is a really cool event in Leeds. And yeah, but the main thing I wanted to say was I'm going to be doing something called Liverpool the Friday night wrap up, basically, and just talk about the Reds whilst we haven't got them, basically, and then we can all just suffer together the horrendous nonsense of the closing. I suppose it's not too bad this year because, as a Ghana fan, obviously I've got Ghana in the World Cup, which I'm really looking forward to. By the way, that should be another announcement while I'm thinking about it. Ghana are actually playing Wales. Me and my brother are, as we speak, trying to source tickets if we can do. That's going to be on June the 2nd in Cardiff, which should be fun. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. But yeah, obviously the lack of Liverpool is rubbish, and for someone that does Liverpool content, also not helpful. So I'm going to basically make my own content, essentially. So yes. Anyway, moving back to the wrestling. So just very quickly, folks, because I've been ignoring you, and sorry, I just need to get all this shit off my chest, basically. I can't give you a full review of AEW Dynasty because I've not finished it. I'm currently on the Will Ospreay John Moxley match. To be honest, I'm probably going to just give up today and watch the rest tomorrow because I bought the PLE. Just to say though, I've watched. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I've watched 7 matches basically so far. Can I just say, shout out to Okada, Takeshita, and the Young Bucks. That's been the match of the night so far. And I wouldn't even begin to describe it to you. If you're an AEW fan, you'll know the match I'm on about. It's already gone in my because I'm a geek, as the name implies, it's already gone in my match of the year ratings. In fact, that's something I can tell you about as well. Let me see if I can find it for you. I've actually got matches of the year so far because I usually do like a whole wrestling wrap up at the end of the year as well. So far, my matches of the year are Gunther versus AJ Styles, Swerve Strickland versus Kenny Omega, Takeshita versus John Moxley, FTR versus the Bucks, MJF versus Hangman Adam Page, Finn Balor versus CM Punk, Chris Statlander versus Tekla, and now Okada, Takeshita versus the Bucks. It was an absolute masterpiece. That's the best way I could think to describe it, to be honest. Randomly, Chris Jericho lost his first match back in AEW to Ricochet in Canada, which I was... Unless they're going to turn him heel straight away, I don't get that. Like, obviously Jericho came back with some of the momentum, and it's like he's lost his first... I have whoever booked that. I have absolutely. I mean, maybe it was Jericho requested it himself to help Ricochet. I don't know, but that was just a bizarre decision. It was a really good match. Don't get me wrong. Also, as well, I don't know why, but AEW are calling him Jericho, not Chris Jericho. So if you go and watch AEW Dynasty, it's just on Amazon Prime. That's where I've ordered it from, or you can get it from Vital. Trickler or something, a place like that. I forget what it's called. Anyway, in the graphics, it actually says Jericho, not Chris Jericho. To quote the Hurricane, what's over there? Andrade versus Darby Allin was really good. Very big bloody brawl. Darby Allin's won, so he is going to be facing the winner of MJF versus Kenny Omega, which I'm not going to say the result because I'm hoping I haven't seen the result, but I think I have actually seen the result. So I'll say Darby Allin can face one of MJF or Kenny Omega, but as I say, I think I know the result, so I won't spoil it, but basically, if you haven't seen it. Cope and Cage lost again in Canada to FTR. Not a cool night for the Canadians. Speedball Mike Bailey, who's also from Canada, lost the Casino Gauntlet match. So I don't know if this was like a rib on the Canadians, but I don't think they had a single win for any of the Canadian wrestlers, which again was a bit odd, but it's kind of a wrestling staple that you always beat the person whose hometown it is, and so on and so forth. Yeah, the Casino Gauntlet match was really good, probably the second match of the night. Kevin Knight is now the TNT champion because, I forgot his name, Kyle Fletcher had to basically hand over the title because he's actually injured for a shoot, basically. So Kevin Knight's now the champion. My girl Tekla gets into tech. She beat Jamie Hayter. Possibly, I think I'll put the laptop away now, actually, because I think I've told you everything. I'll be honest, as the world's biggest Tekla fan, it may not have been strictly legal, arguably, but yeah, the most important thing is that Tekla is still the AEW Women's World Champion. She is my t-shirt. I don't know if you can see that. I'll just put it a bit down there. There we go. Yeah, I got that recently because obviously you guys that listen to me on podcast will know that I've been waffling on about Tekla now for the better part of 5 or 6 months. I just think she's the best wrestler in the world at the minute. Like I said, I've waffled on about this woman, but I love her work. I love the way she speaks. I love her mannerisms. I love the fact she's actually committed to being a heel. I love her. Her ring work is superb. I love her physicality. I love the fire. I just love everything about the woman. I think she's absolutely brilliant. To the point where I've actually started my own Reddit little community about Tekla because I just love her so much. And before any lads say anything, by the way, yes, I suppose objectively, if I was younger and this was a different planet and all that business, can I just say it's nothing to do with that? I just genuinely respect the hell out of this woman. I genuinely do think 100% hand on heart that she's the best. I think she's one of the best wrestlers, man or woman, on the planet at the minute, and I just think she's absolutely brilliant. To be honest, it's nothing to do with what some lads might say. I just think I'm not saying she's butt ugly, by the way, either. At the same time, but just genuinely take all that aside, I just think she's fabulous. I think she's an absolutely top draw worker, and to the point where I actually did a short tonight. I know Dynasty was last night, but basically I did a short of me celebrating Tekla winning. That's how like kind of obsessed I am with her at the minute. So when I go to see AEW All In at Wembley Stadium, I am just hoping and praying that Tekla is going to be healthy and that she doesn't get injured, because I think at this stage I would actually cry, because I saw Tekla last year at AEW All In, but I wasn't as big a fan then. I was getting to be a fan. I'd enjoyed the work and everything, but what had actually happened was I turned up late for Forbidden Door because of travel issues and so on and so forth. And apparently there'd been a brawl with Queen Aminata and Tekla early on the night, but I didn't know about this. And then I think it was the Mercedes Monet match happened, and then all of a sudden Tekla and Aminata came brawling through onto the entranceway, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And I didn't even know it was Tekla, basically, at the time. I only found out that I had a video of it a while ago, and I was like, oh, I got a video of Tekla, upload. So, yeah, basically, I should be taking this shirt to AEW All In and wearing it with pride. I might put a Abolish Ice one just underneath it as well. So, like I said, I've actually got a Reddit community where I'm trying to get a certain chant going at Wembley Stadium. So if anyone wants to join, I'm Geek Boy Better on Reddit, and I think the Reddit community is called something along the lines of AW Wembley Duck Ice, or something that sounds very similar, basically. So yeah, basically, I hope everyone enjoyed the actual wrestling portion of tonight. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you about on that score. Like I said, I've still got John Moxley versus Will Ospreay to watch. I'm going to save this tomorrow because I am getting quite tired and I really want to sit in and enjoy it. So if I find out the result, I find out the result. In fact, I might still try and watch it tonight if I can do, because I need to check all my socials and stuff. And yeah, that's about it for the wrap up. So it's been a crazy last few days. So to everyone who was expecting a Smackdown wrap up, an AEW Dynamite wrap up, and also an AEW Dynasty last night, I'm sorry it's been shoved all together, basically. If any of you are TNA fans, I'm sorry I didn't give more highlights or more perspective, but like I said, I'm working my way slowly back into becoming a TNA watcher, so I haven't really got a clue what's going on at the minute, but I'll pick up with it and everything. And like I said, I'm hoping to start watching NXT as well. It very much depends on my circumstances going forward if I can do that. But again, I've told you guys that before. Anyway, thanks for listening to me waffle. I'm just going to see if there's any more comments. Let me have a look. Finn, I'm going to go to sleep, mate. I need to go to sleep. No problem, Finn. You've probably gone about 20 minutes ago, but thanks for tuning in, mate. You're a good one, lad. Great speaking to you as always. Jay Celtic, how you doing, Jay Celtic? Currently in Madrid. Oh, nice one, Jay. Nice one. Nice for some people. I'm currently in Beeston in South Leeds, which doesn't quite sound as glamorous when I say it out loud. But no, you have a fantastic time over there, Jay. Are you over there for a game or just holiday, pleasure, work? Not that it's any of my business, but let's have a look. Jay Celtic, I'm getting increasingly worried about Rangers winning the league. It's scary. Well, dude, to be honest, that Falkirk match, I caught the highlights actually, and you know when you load a video up and you've just pressed on it and like you're not actually sure what the score was. It just said Rangers match, so I put it on, and Falkirk, I think were Falkirk 2 up in about 6 minutes or something daft like that, and I thought to myself straight away, oh, that must be it then, and then I'm like, what is going on in this match? Honestly, Jay, you'll know better than me, mate. It's the worst, most appalling defending from two teams I think I've ever seen. There's people falling over in the areas, kicking balls, missing headers, falling over each other, like ballooning chances over the bar. I was just like, is this some sort of comedy match or something? But yeah, I mean, how Rangers actually won that match, I mean, I think they probably deserved to be honest, from what I saw, but it was just absolute. It was like some sort of bloody comedy sketch match. I've never seen anything like it. You beat oh Christ, because I had it on Five Live. You know the program that Jason Mohammed does with Final Score. It I forgot. Was it Hibs? It wasn't Hibs, was it? Dundee, possibly. I do know that you all lot were really nervous because the reporter that was there, I don't know if it was Ailey Barber, but whoever it was, she said that basically the crowd were like literally biting fingernails and stuff going on. And I'm like, I haven't heard Celtic fans having to do that for a very, very long time. It's just really weird, actually. It's scary. Do you think Vince is on his way back? Hey, Harry. Haha, haha, I didn't do it. Hello, I'm him. Well, funnily enough, I'm him. That's one thing I didn't mention when I was doing the wrestling stuff. So I've got a couple of theories about this. I wouldn't be surprised at all, mate, if you're on something with Vince, because they keep mentioning it now. And I do wonder whether because of I don't want to get involved in politics. I really don't. Most of you will know that you know what side politically I'm on. I do wonder whether how America is at present. Oh God, how do you say this? How America is at present has opened the door for Vince to come back without fear of reprisal. Basically, is what I'm getting at. Some of the people who have been allowed back in American mainstream society, like from 3 or 4 years ago, you would just be like, well, I mean, that can't happen, sure. I mean, Vince McMahon being welcomed back into the mainstream would be ranked somewhere in the middle, to be honest. I mean, you've got, like I said, I don't want to do the whole naming and shaming thing, but you just off the top of my head, you have some prat basically like Russell Brand, who has been accused of doing things that he may or may not have done, basically. He's now been welcomed back in certain parts of America with open arms, despite what has been said. It's a bit of a poor example, but you know what I mean. So if Vince McMahon was forgiven and put on a pedestal again, would anyone actually be really surprised at this point? I certainly wouldn't. But no, I'm him, to be honest. My theory is, because if you look at SmackDown, they keep mentioning it's the higher ups, it's the higher ups, it's the higher ups. Now, if the reveal was, haha, it's Triple H, then it would just be like, but we've seen Triple H and Stephanie, and they could have just done that any time. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. With it being TKO, I wouldn't be surprised if it's The Rock at all, because if you think about the two storylines that you could insert The Rock into, for obvious reasons, he could definitely go into the Punk match. The Punk and Roman match, because CM Punk's taken a fair few shots at The Rock now, as in unanswered. You've got to think that Punk and Rock at some point are going to have some sort of. It might not end up being a feud, but they're going to have some sort of thing at some point, because they didn't really have one back in the day. They just had the one where Punk had to put Rock over. Whereas now there's a whole backstory in history. I mean, he was taking the piss out of him not being the most famous actor in the world. You've also got the whole Roman thing. Could The Rock come back to screw Roman over because he let him down? You've also got the whole Cody Rhodes of it all, because The Rock never got John Cena to truly be his champion. He never got to take Cody's soul. Could The Rock and... Because obviously The Rock and McAfee know each other. Could The Rock, McAfee and Orton be a thing? Orton and Rock? Second generation... Well, third generations. Obviously their families have known each other for decades and decades and decades with Cowboy Bobble and people like that. So yeah, maybe that's a thing. I don't know, but I think possibly more The Rock than Vince, but quite frankly, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, unless there is someone else who they are going to say runs TKO, so like not in terms of real life, but it I don't know if any of you remember, but like when Stone Cold was made the CEO of WWE by Vince McMahon, by Linda McMahon, because she just chose to have a board meeting of the directors without consulting her husband. By the way, I'm not making that up. Stone Cold Steve Austin was legitimately the CEO of WWE, not officially, obviously, but kayfabe he was. Not as a shoot, because I mean, I that would have been a bit Stone. Can you imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day being the president of WWE? Yeah, free beer. So yeah, I think there's potentially something to do with I suppose it could be Stone Cold, but again, that would actually, no, that's a terrible, terrible idea. That wouldn't make any sense. I mean, the only person I could think it could be, I mean, it would be ridiculous if it was Nick Khan, because obviously he's always been featured as in Nick Khan in real life. He's never been pictured as a character. I suppose it could be Steph, but again, we've done that before. Shawn Michaels, he does run NXT. Maybe they'll want him on the main roster, not the main roster to wrestle. Obviously, maybe there's something to do with Shawn. I don't know, but like, if I had to guess, I think it's probably going to be The Rock, but we'll have to wait and see. But there we go. Ben Smith, it's WrestleMania season now. It is, Ben. Yeah, no, that I was saying that earlier, Ben. They've literally just started now, mate. I've actually got the schedule. I've closed my laptop. I've shut it down. There's an actual schedule. If you look online, there's this really cool company that's done like a map. Obviously, I'm not in America, but they've done like a map with all the venues, all the times, all the money that it costs to get into the venues, all the talent that's going to be on each individual thing. And basically it's got everything that you want to know about, like the WrestleCon, about all the independent shows, about the actual main WrestleMania. So yeah, dude, literally I'm going to start, because I usually do this for San Diego Comic-Con, I usually start typing in San Diego Comic-Con and waiting for all the toy videos and stuff, because I am just really, really sad. I love toys and comic books and all that, basically. So I'm going to start typing in fact, from tonight, I'm going to have a quick look, see if there's anything that's come up. Obviously, Raw's tonight as well, so that's going to be the main first start. I mean, one day, I'm just throwing this out there, can you imagine how excited we're going to be in England as wrestling fans if we ever get this in England? I mean, I was actually speaking to one of the boys the other day, and I know this will cost a shit pile of money, because it would probably be in London. I think I would have, seriously, maybe not the whole week, because that would cost about £2,000 or something stupid like that. I would have to consider going up between Thursday night and Tuesday, so that you could see night one, night two. You could watch the Smackdown and the Raw, but I mean, even if you did that and went to the independent house shows, I mean, you're talking £2,000 at bare minimum. But it's something I'd like to do, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, it is WrestleMania season, my friend. Hey, Jack, how you doing, mate? You're all right? How you doing, fella? I'm still not 100%. Did you see my community post about what's been going on with me? Oh, sorry, Jack. No, I've not seen it just yet. I've like I said, I need to go on my socials, Jack, after this, because would you believe? Because I've been working on. I say working, basically, mate. I've been watching wrestling pretty much non-stop since this morning, basically. So I've caught up with Smackdown, Dynamite, all that business. And I've been writing my notes, I've been getting my Substack articles ready, and basically, Jack, long story short, I haven't seen it. So, but yes, I hope you're doing all right, dude. I hope you're doing all right. I will definitely, let me get my phone charged up, mate, and I will, in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll have a look on my laptop while my phone's charging, and I'll come back to you, mate. But genuinely, I hope you're all right, pal. And I hope you're going to enjoy WrestleMania week. Because I know I am. It's going to be really, really good. Like I said, folks, I'm really excited about this, because I don't know why I've never thought of doing this before, but because like I said, excuse me, when you've got the search bar on YouTube and you just type in comic books or whatever you do, I always, whenever it's San Diego Comic Con, just type in San Diego Comic Con panel, San Diego Comic Con trailer, San Diego Comic Con 2026, whatever the year is. And then obviously it brings up all the results. And basically, I know this is really sad. This is really, really sad. You know, you can make up your favourites folders and you split them into categories. I actually create one for San Diego Comic Con and I put Leon's San Diego Comic Con, and literally you're talking every year I've got something in the region of 100 to 150 videos. So like my San Diego Comic Con actually lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks, basically, because I end up with all these toy videos. One of the things that I really love, and I know it's really, really geeky, but because I go to Comic Cons and stuff, I really like, you know, when you got the fellas doing the videos when they do the walkarounds. I really, really like that. Denise Salcedo actually did one, funnily enough, of WrestleMania World. That's another thing as well, because WrestleMania World's like their sort of Comic Con now, so that might actually be open now, you know. In fact, that's a very good point. I'm going to check on that. But yeah, I'm obsessed with that sort of thing. I've literally spent hours just following people who are just at Comic Con. I couldn't tell you why, for the love nor money, to be honest, but it's something I like doing. It's not hurting anyone, is it? Let's have a look. I just need to watch the AEW pay-per-view, but I struggle to watch it since my mum can't pay for everything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. Can't believe it's this week. Yeah, I know, Jack. I know, mate. It's totally caught me off guard. Yeah, don't worry about the AEW thing, Jack. I'll let you into a secret. I'm significantly older than you, mate, but my mommy had to pay for the pay-per-view for me this evening. Because I looked at her adoringly at the weekend and said, "Mom, please, can you pay for the pay-per-view? I haven't got any money." She was like, "How much is it? 15 quid?" She was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Yay, thank you, mommy." Like I'm bloody 7 years old or something stupid like that. So honestly, Jack, don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. Honestly, mate, I'll tell you what, having to go to your mum when you're nearly 46 years of age and asking if she could pay for the bloody pay-per-view for you, don't worry about it, mate, honestly. But yeah, no, I'm honestly, Jack, I am like genuinely excited. Like I always am at this time of year, especially with because that's another thing I didn't mention as well. So you know AEW, obviously I won't spoil the results for you, Jack, because I don't know what you've seen and what I've seen and what you've seen. So I'll keep quiet now. But basically, just to say, I've not seen Moxley versus Ospreay and I've not seen Omega versus MJF. So I'm going to watch both of those tomorrow. One thing I was going to say though that I did, thank you for reminding me. AW this week, it's a two-hander. So you've got Dynamite and they're calling it Spring Break, I think, or something like that. But then Collision, that's usually on Saturday night, is on Thursday. And it fit me being a dumbass. I was like, why have they moved it on Thursday for? There's nothing on. And I was like, oh my God, you complete idiot. Obviously, it's WrestleMania week. So it's just like, yeah, we could have Collision on Saturday night and draw 4 viewers, or we could just make it a double special, basically. But that's the great thing about WrestleMania weekend now, Jack, because obviously TNA have got to move their stuff. Excuse me, all the independents have got to move their stuff. I think New Japan Pro Wrestling have to move some of their programming. I'm not too sure, because obviously they're in a completely different bloody universe, basically. But AEW definitely has to move their stuff. But the great thing is, what WWE don't realise is, like, fans like me, it's like, well, that's fine, because I'm just going to watch all of it. You've actually given me more wrestling, lot. That's kind of the thing, Jack. I don't know if you caught it earlier, it was me going on my high horse, but I don't know if you've seen this thing about TNA talents not being allowed to go to these independent shows where there's AEW wrestlers. I'm just like, dude, seriously? Will you get over yourself? Like, we all know these guys exist in other promotions. You know what I mean? It's got to the point where it's just WWE will do their best now not to ever mention AEW. In fact, I don't think it'll ever happen. It was the same thing as WCW back in the day, but I've heard all sorts, like they've in Stanford that they've basically got a whole department of people who exclusively watch AEW to make notes and give back to WWE. It's just like, look, you you don't need to do that. Like, AEW are literally no, and I say this as an AEW fan, and I like all wrestling. Like, so I'm not interested in this whole culture wars shite, basically. But AEW are no threat to WWE. There was no one who was a threat to WWE. Just let them crack on. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, we can't have their talents going. And what annoys me more than anything is that it might be WWE who are telling TNA not to release the talents. Now, I don't know, because I don't know this Carlos Silva fellow. I don't know him from Adam, mate. I've got no idea. But, like, if the direction has come from a Nick Khan or a Triple H or a TKO or, God forbid, The Rock. I mean, I can't imagine it would be The Rock, but if the direction has come from Stanford or TKO, I mean, that's really, really piss poor in my opinion. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let's have a look. It's because of my disability I won't stand many things that I usually watch online. Oh, yeah, Jack, no, that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes sense, mate. That makes sense. Yeah, you're best off not I mean, Jack, I mess stuff like this up. I mean, I ordered the wrong pay-per-view. Literally, obviously, I'm not making this up to make you feel better. Instead, literally, the other day, no, not the other day, it was about a year and a half ago. My mum rings me up and says, "How you doing, son?" I was like, "Yeah, not too bad, mum." I was like, "Did you enjoy your action film?" And I was like, "You what?" So, did you enjoy the action film I bought? I was like, "What are you talking about?" But because it was, she had to. Well, she didn't have to, but she bought an AEW thing for me. And I don't know how on earth I did this, mate. So, oh, because I've been billed for AEW, and God knows what it was. It might have been Superman or something like that. So I was like, but I haven't ordered it. It said, well, it says here that you have. And God knows how I've done it, mate, but I managed to order not only AEW, but some random film. And it cost me mum nearly 35 quid. And I'm just like, oh, for basically. So, yeah, dude, like I said, you can't possibly be any worse at this sort of stuff than me. I'm glad people understand on my YouTube community post I got 5 likes. Oh, well done, Jack, well done. Like I said, Jack, I'm heading off in a minute, dude, because I'm down to like 10% battery, but I will definitely have a look at your post. In fact, I've got it on laptop here, so let me open my laptop. I'll get this charged and I shall reply to you, my friend. But generally, I hope everything's going okay. I forgot. I found AEW in different parts on video. Oh, Daily Motion. Yeah, I used to use Daily Motion back in the day before I moved in with my missus. I spent hours trawling on Daily Motion because it was one of the obviously like a lot of lads I knew were like blatantly just like looking at things that they shouldn't have been looking at online and not paying for them, basically. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that. And then one of them said, well, you do know there's this thing called Daily Motion. I was like, what's Daily Motion? And it was like, well, it's this like independent website. And you can just type in anything, it brings it up. And I was like, what? And it's not illegal? And they were like, no. And I was like, well, how on earth is it not illegal? That's ridiculous. And obviously I read into it and everything. It's like, no, Daily Motion are allowed to host these videos. I'm like, how? That's it. Anyway, God knows why. But yeah, when I used to watch TNA, mate, they'd have the TNA videos uploaded. Christ alone knows how they were allowed to do it. But the only thing was, like you said, they had different parts and stuff. So sometimes they'd name it, I don't know, they'd put part 4 and then you'd end up pressing part 2 instead of part 3, and sometimes it would go wrong and this, that, and the other. But yeah, no, I used to watch many TNA things on Daily Motion back in the day. Indeed, before I watched WWE on TV or Netflix, I used to watch wrestling online. But some websites aren't so. Yeah, I was going to say, but when I was young and naive, Jack, I won't say when, but probably about 20 years ago. So it was like when I first went to university, mate. Basically, the internet was. I know it sounds really stupid. It just wasn't a thing. Like, obviously, there's computers all over universities, wherever you go now. But in Leeds Met University, there was a little computer room. which sounds weird now because obviously if you go to Leeds Uni now, mate, there's like banks and banks of the damn thing. But there was just a computer section. The stupid thing was hardly anyone used to use it because it was still books when I was doing studying and stuff. And yeah, it's what was I telling you that stuff? Oh yeah, so basically, when I got my own laptop, I mean, because like I said, from people of my generation, because I'm going to be 50 in like 4 years, I just typed in something and it said, "Oh, free football match," and I would literally go, "Oh, look, it's Arsenal playing. Oh, that's funny, isn't it?" And like my missus would, not missus now, but ex-missus would come along and like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm watching a free football match, love. It says you can watch it," and she would literally come along, press X, and she was like, "No, you can't watch that." I was like, "But it says it's free. You're allowed to do it." It's like, "Leon, that's an illegal streaming website." And I was like, "What's an illegal streaming website?" And literally, I used to tell the lads, and they would just be like, "Are you dumb?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't bloody know." It's just like, "Oh, so I can't just click on these things that say free football and watch them?" And they're like, "No, you can't." Basically. So I was like, "Oh, crap." And then I heard all these stories about people being arrested and all sorts. And I was like, "Ah, right, now I see. Right, yeah, all right, fair enough." So, yes, I had a bit of an early scare with that one, shall we say. Anyway, Jack, folks, it is 12:30 at night, and I am going to go to bed because sadly, well, I say sadly, I do love him and everything, but I am with my lad tomorrow, and his mum is going to work at 7:45 in the morning, which means I need to be with my lad. So, not very cool or a sexy reason, but I will have to leave you at this point. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry it's been a bit random. A bit of a random thing. Like I said, I'm sorry about all the wrestling that I've missed the last couple of days, but I just thought, right, what I'll do is I'll jam it all together in like a 2 hour sludge of wrestling, basically. Like I said, I know this sounds really, really ridiculous, because I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania. I think tomorrow I might just look at football. I don't think I can physically take watching any more wrestling. I literally have watched. I must have been watching wrestling today for the better part of 13 hours. So I'm looking at John Moxley and Will Ospreay. Lads, I'm going to turn you off right now. No offense to either of you. I can't watch anything else wrestling wise. I am done. I am absolutely done. But yes, I will be back with more wrestling on Wednesday night, basically. Let's have a look. Yeah, my mum helps with her disability and general things. Oh, that's good, mate. I'm glad you've got a close relationship with your mum. I help my mum with her disabilities and stuff. And well, I mean, strictly speaking, Jack, to be honest, I now have them as well. Not to the same extent. I wouldn't be so offensive as to say they're anywhere near as obviously as difficult as yours. But like obviously, well, they're not really disabilities, but obviously, I've been diagnosed with all these bits and pieces that I've got now. And I've struggled to, especially because a lot of mine's mental health, mate, and it's yeah, it's been super difficult this last year. I mean, like thinking that you knew things about yourself that then turn out not to be true. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. It's been emotionally, it's been really difficult. It's been super difficult thinking that you're one person, but then there's this other part of you that you didn't know about. I don't know if I'm making any sense, mate, basically, but it's really hard at my age to retrain your brain and then retrain yourself as to why you feel in certain thing. I don't know. It's a really crap way of explaining it, but you might know what I'm on about. Basically, I don't know. Yes, there we go. Hey, Logan, how you doing, mate? You all right? Oh, you've just caught me at the end, Logan. I'm just packing up in a second. Did you see the Osprey match? Logan, I will if you want. If you can tune in, pal, either tomorrow or on Wednesday or the rest of the week. So I'm going to be on every single day for wrestling, pretty much. I will talk to you about the Osprey match. Can you please not tell me who won? If you wouldn't mind, mate. I've basically, long story short, I was just telling Jack that basically I've watched in one day AEW Dynamite, Smackdown, Collision. TNA Rebellion, and I've nearly finished Dynasty, but I've just got to the Tekla match. Just watched Tekla, shout out Tekla, still the champ. But I've not managed to finish Osprey and Mox, and Omega and MJF. Like I said, I know this sounds like a really, really not the most manly reason. I'm tired. I've watched wrestling literally for about 13 hours. I don't think I could physically watch anymore at this point. But yeah, no, I have heard it is good, mate. We'll definitely talk to you about that as well. I'm looking forward to seeing Darby Allin versus MJF. Yeah, well, I don't mind that being spoiled, Logan, because unfortunately, I clicked onto that. When you put your thing on, your phone on, and I don't know if any of you have tried to do this, and you're always just like, right, I'm not going to click on this because I don't want to find out about this football result or this golf result or I don't know, bloody I'm a celebrity result or whatever the case may be. And guaranteed, whenever I do it, I put Instagram on, and the first thing that comes up with is literally like, yeah, this person's beat that person. And unfortunately, I found out that that is going to be the next match. And then I worked out, well, that means that MJF must have, and yeah, that's the first thing I clicked on this morning. Basically, so I was just like, for sake. But yeah, no, I will have a conversation with you, Logan, about that maybe even tomorrow or a couple of days. Like I said, I'm gonna save Osprey to watch tomorrow while I'm having my lunch because I want to sit down and really enjoy the match, and then I'll watch the MJF and Omega match. But obviously, I know who's won that basically, but I still want to watch it anyway. Just speaking of which, let me have a look. Looking forward to seeing Osprey. Sorry to hear that. Oh no, Jack, it's all right, mate. Like I said, I'm just glad they caught it with me, dude. Because like I said, I was just aimlessly being a bit of an idiot, mate. To be honest, and it's taken a lot of hard work to come back from it. But I'm glad that it's been caught, and now I can move on with my life, basically, dude. So it's just one of these, mate. It's just one of these. I'd rather have gone through what I've gone through and come out the other side of it, mate. But yeah, cheers for that, Jack. It's nice of you to say, mate. Take care. Have a great night. I will. Don't worry, Jack. I will be going. I'm literally going to finish up. I'm going to go and charge this phone, and I'm going to grab 40 winks and count fences and jump over sheep. As I said the other day by accident. That's for a shoot, by the way. I did actually say that to someone because I is stupid, basically. Let's have a look. MJF will lose the title. He has to. Darby Allin needs it. Well, just as the last thing, one last thing, Logan. I would have preferred, ideally, that Darby Allin's crack at the title had been a bit later on, because I've been saying this for a while, mate. I just think that they're going to make MJF a monster. They're going to have him beat person after person after person. I mean, he's already been through what? Trying to think, he's been through Brody. Oh, for God's sake, Leo. Brody, Kenny, Hangman. He got the belt in a 4-way against Hangman, Swerve, and Joe. I think he's had a random match against. He had a match against Speedball the other day, but I don't think it was for the title. And they're just having him beat person after person after person. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a bit of a Triple H with him. And what I mean by that is, like, back in the day, you just could not beat Triple H for love nor money when he was in the McMahon-Helmsley era. And, like, honestly, I won't go into it at this time of night, but I don't think I've ever been so bloody infuriated as a wrestling fan. Literally every single week, Triple H won, and I was just like, this is pissing me off now. Which again was the intention, but I didn't understand it at the time. So I would have been more confident. Say if I'm trying to think. Say for some stupid reason, if Jericho had been pushed straight into a title match with MJF, and I don't know, if they'd turned Ricochet back into a face, and then they'd had Ricochet, and then they'd brought Samoa Joe back for his rematch, and if they had a 3 or 4 more, or maybe Ospreay and someone like that. If Darby Allin had been the 8th or 9th on the list, and if it had been at AEW All In at Wembley, then I think, yeah, they're going to switch the belts. To be honest, but I agree that I think Darby Allin should have it. I just don't think they'll do it. I think they will wait until the summer. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'd love to see Derby Allen winning it. I think they'll wait until the summer and they'll do it at Wembley Stadium, personally. And my prediction all the time has been that basically Will Ospreay will win the big belt at Wembley Stadium in front of, what, 40, 50,000 of his countrymen. Because the moment that'll create will be absolutely, completely and utterly insane. But yeah, that's just my two penneth worth. Let's have a look. I was diagnosed with a brain injury at the age of 11. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jack, mate. I'm so sorry. Like I said, my heart goes out to you, mate. Literally, I haven't had anything like that. Meningitis stage 10. My sister got diagnosed with ADHD at 30, but she's almost 35 and I'm 29 this year. Well, that's one member of the. I am one member of that club, Jack, in terms of support. So, Mrs. Meta has ADHD, which we found out about 5 or 6 years ago, and basically her ADHD basically me. Well, in fact, I'll show you quickly. That is Mrs. Meta's ADHD. So I've probably shown you all this before, but you see all that. Yeah, so if you're ever wondering what's in the back, basically, that's my front living room. All of that was Lego. That's just the back wall. You haven't seen the other wall that's not even in here. My house is filled with Lego. You've never seen so much Lego in all your life, and it's not down to the ADHD, but it's one of those things that calms the wife down. My son really loves it as well, and we think he's possibly got it as well. We're waiting for his oh god, I don't know what the technical terms. You know when you have an assessment and they say, oh, you this is your condition and you've been diagnosed with this and so on and so forth. He needs to have like an educational assessment, but we're astonishingly sure that he's got ADHD as well. I mean, I know my own son. I'd be, I'm 99% sure he's got ADHD. I think I've got something else as well. But to be honest, Jack, back in the day, like when they were doing testing and stuff, we didn't have testing in the 80s. There was literally bugger all. We got told in Derby, would you believe? I mean, this is how bad it was in the 90s. I got told that dyslexia, this was by a teacher, by the way, was a disease for a shoe. Like, literally, there were kids who went off to, they called it a naughty group as well. And they put them all, I won't say the school because I don't want to get in contact with them, but it was a school in Alistry, Derby, starting with W. Anyway, I'll let you guys do your own research into that. But yeah, there were teachers going around saying, "Oh, yeah, they're all part of the naughty group," and I was like, "Well, why are they naughty for?" It's like, "Oh, because they've all got dyslexia." And I was like, because obviously I'm 12, 13 years old at the time. And this is the 90s. I didn't have a clue what dyslexia was. And I was like, why are they being put in there if they've got a thing for it? It's like, oh, because it's a choice. They're not really that there's nothing really wrong with them. And obviously, as I got slightly more clever, and then when I went to university and stuff, I sort of thought back on it, and I was like, hang on, wait a minute, what the actual is going on there? You know what I mean? But mate, honestly, Jack and everyone else, that's literally what we used to get told, that it was an actual disease, and I was just like, what? I mean, thankfully things are a lot better now. You get diagnoses and so on and so forth, but that's what we got in the late 80s, early 90s. It was shambolic, mate, absolutely shambolic, to say the least. Let's have a look. My mum thinks she has it herself, but she don't want to get diagnosed, but it's up to her. Yeah, it's each to their own. Jack. You can't force people, can you? I mean, I've had conversations with my mum. If my father was still here, he definitely would have had ADHD or OCD. My old fellow was very. Things have to go in certain books and certain colours and so on and so forth. He definitely had something. Definitely. I also have ADHD. Oh, welcome to the club, Logan. Welcome to the club, my friend. I mean, like I said, I don't think I have it, but me and my missus are very similar. I mean, I've not ever actually been tested, so I mean, I could have something, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Joey, hello, Joey. See you later, man. I'm off. See you later, Jack. Take care of yourself. Jack, God's sake. Yeah, I need to go first because I'm reading wrong people's names. See you later, Logan. Nice to chat to you, my friend. Well, can't believe in the 80s, that's what they used to say about disability. I had people call me the R word a lot. Oh, You have my sympathy, Jack. That was, I'm not going to repeat that revolting, foul, disgusting term I've always hated. That I know the one that you're referring to. It was open season on that word in the 90s. Like, you would just be called that. Um, and I mean, I knew that that word was wrong when I was 12 in 92. I didn't need someone to tell me that it was wrong. I mean, it's probably because I was brought up in a really good house and everything. And to be fair, I mean, my mum and dad like educated me not to speak to people in that manner or use those terms and phrases. I mean, obviously, as a kid, I used some bad language and stuff like most kids do and everything. No, I'll just leave you with this one, Jack. I used to. I see your R word and I raise you the N word. That's what I got by quite a few people, sadly, back in the day. But yeah, well, they can go and duck themselves, shall we say. Yeah, don't pay attention to losers like that, man. It's because I defend myself against people. And they say it's absolutely disgusting. Well, yeah, Jack, I mean, that's all you can do, mate. You just need to keep. You don't change who you are, Jack. You just keep defending yourself and you keep believing in who you are. And I used to say stuff like that was bullshit back in the day, but you've just got to, like, believe in yourself, believe in your own principles, and yeah, never ever let these people tell you that you're not a good person, mate, at the end of the day, because you're a cracking lad, mate, cracking lad. Right, speaking of which, Jack and everyone else, I'm down to 2% on the phone, so I am going to literally have to say goodbye now, otherwise I'm going to run out of battery. So yes, Jack, it's a pleasure to speak to you, mate, as always. Everyone else, take care. And I will see you over the next few days for WrestleMania season. Right, have a good night, everyone. Down to 1%. See you soon. Bye-bye.